Hi makers, welcome back. These are the things you'll need to make the lined box pouch. First of all, fuse the interface to the outer fabric. Next we're going to make the tabs, folding them like this and in half. Do that for both of them and give them a good press with a hot iron. We can now sew down the length of each side of each tab. When sewn, it will look like this. So let's now attach the zipper. Take the fabric right side up and place your zipper with the zip pull facing down in the very centre of the fabric. Take your lining fabric right side down and place all three so the raw edges meet and clip them together. We're going to sew right along here, making sure that we have our zipper foot on our sewing machine. So we now need to make a top stitch to make sure the zipper stays in place, and when we open and close it doesn't catch any of the lining fabric. So lay your piece down like this and we're going to make a sew line here. Attaching the other side of the zipper is easy. Make sure your outside fabric's facing up, your zipper with the zipper pull facing down, and your lining fabric facing down also. Clip them together like we did before. And then again, you'll sew along here. You can see here I'm just feeling for the outside of the zipper teeth with my finger. This makes it easier just to make sure that you don't sew over the zipper teeth. So the other side of your zip is attached. We now need to do a top stitch. We're going to do this by opening the zipper fully and turning your piece inside out so the right sides are showing. We're then going to make a top stitch just along here. Having a longer zipper really helps at this stage. Just means that you can maneuver the zip around in order to ensure the top stitch is straight. What we need to do now is sew the bottom seam of the two lining fabrics. So take the two fabrics, placing them right sides together like this, and make two marks around 12 centimeters in the middle of the fabric. We're not going to sew that section, we need to leave it open for the turning of the bag later. So just pin either side of that section, here and here, and sew either side of the opening, around 1 centimeter from the edge. Also just make sure that you have your normal sewing foot on your machine. Here you can see that I'll stop sewing at the beginning of the opening and start again at the other side of the opening. So now we need to prepare to sew the side seams and to add the tabs. Open the zipper around 3/4 of the way down. Make sure that the zip pull is within inside the fabric, not on the edges. Otherwise when we stitch you won't be able to close the zip. We need to find halfway in the middle of the fabric. You need to position the zip like I'm doing here, and then the same with the lining fabric, which is a bit easier because you have the sewn seam that you can position exactly over the zip, which should be halfway in between each side of the fabric. Once everything is neat and in the middle, take your tab and fold it in half, and we're going to position this between the zipper and the outer fabric like this. We want the raw edges facing out, and you can just pop a couple of clips on there to hold it safe. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Take the tab, fold it in half, position between the zipper and the outer fabric and clip together. We need to sew the side seams up now, so around 1.5 centimeters from the edge. We want to make sure that we go over everything, all of those layers, keeping it all together. When you get to the zipper, I would suggest sewing over it 3 or 4 times to make sure it's well attached. We'll do exactly the same on the other side. Once you've finished sewing, you can just trim the excess zip at either side. So now your project will look like this. It's at this stage, before we sew the opening closed, that I'd like to show you a comparison between a flat pouch and a boxed pouch. At the moment, the bag we're making is a flat pouch, it has no dimension. However, with an easy tweak, you can make this pouch, which does have some depth, as you can see. For a flat pouch, sew the opening closed and you're finished. For a box pouch, we're going to turn the bag inside out again. We're going to sew the opening closed. Once the opening in the lining is sewn, it will look like this. So now to give the bag some depth. To make the box corners, pinch each corner together like this, making sure that they're centrally lined up with the seam and the fold at the bottom of the pouch. We need to measure this, and I'm using a measurement of 5 centimeters. I'm going to mark it with a pencil and you'll have a line across the corner like this. We need to do that on each corner. Once you've made the lines, I would suggest putting a clip on the corner just to hold it in place. Let's turn the pouch around and do the same with the other 2 corners, squeezing them together, making sure that the seams line up so that you have a really nice point, making your mark and just clipping them. Okay, let's get the last one done and then we can start sewing the corners. The sewing's really simple. You're literally going to sew across the pencil line that you've made like this. Let's do the next one. I would suggest doing a reverse stitch at the beginning and end, just to make sure that the corners are very strong. Again, turn the bag round. Let's do the same on the other side. Simple stitch line straight across the marked line that you've already drawn with the pencil. Once all 4 corners are done, this is what your pouch will look like. You now have a couple of options with the corners. You can either leave them as they are, which I'm going to do, or you can make a cut leaving 0.5 centimeter seam allowance and sealing that seam allowance with a zigzag stitch. The alternative is to leave the corners in, and that's what I'm going to do today. It gives the bag a little bit more hold and shape. So now it's time to turn the bag the right side out. This is the best bit. And there you have your very cute and useful box pouch. Enjoy!